The underlying right is a right to be free from harmful coercion. Immigration restrictions are harmful and coercive. So on the face of it, they violate a right. Okay, so why I think that there's a right to be free from harmful coercion. Well, it's just based on intuitions, about cases where somebody harmfully coerces another person. Okay, and I put it that way as harmful coercion because I'm not considering paternalistic coercion, which might be beneficial to the subject. And also, I'm not considering non-coercive ways of harming someone. So, like if you compete with someone in business and that harms them by taking away their business because you're better, you're better at the business. So that's not a rights violation, even prima facie, but that's not coercive. Okay, but what is a prima facie rights violation is using force against another person in a way that harms them. Immigration restrictions do that. They're not voluntary. They're definitely coercive. So we hire armed guards to stop people from coming in or to forcibly remove people from the country. And it's harmful because, obviously sets back their interests, right? So, if somebody kidnapped you and then forced you to live in Mexico for the rest of your life, would that person be harming you? Like, obviously, yes. All right. So that's the same harm that the immigrants are experiencing.
Okay. So I like this distinction that you're making, right? So you split it up into two parts. There's the coercion part, and then there's the harm part, right? And it's this combination of the two together that make it so that it's wrong.
Right. Sorry. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. So it sounds like a libertarian argument to me. I've heard libertarians like the Cato Institute make arguments like that. They're pretty pro-immigration.
Is this a libertarian premise? Well, I mean, certainly libertarians agree with this, but it'd be hard for almost anyone to say no. There's no right not to be harmfully coerced, right? Like, oh no, it's fine to just go around hurting people using physical force against them, just for the heck of it, right? Very few people think that. I gave a hypothetical example of there's a person who's starving named Marvin. So it's Starving Marvin. And he's trying to get to a marketplace to buy some food. And then this other person named Sam just forcibly stops him from getting to the marketplace. Okay. And, just because he doesn't like the looks of Marvin or whatever.
Hmm.
So, well, he would have harmed Marvin. He would have coerced him and he would have violated his rights. And this isn't a particularly libertarian thing. Like, I mean, I think, even Democrats and Republicans most of them would see that Sam had done something wrong, that he violated Marvin's rights, right? If Marvin starves as a result, then he killed Marvin, etc.
Okay. So what is the strongest pushback then against this argument? In your experience, what do you think it's the strongest argument against it? Because you say it's a prima facie right, right? So it could be outweighed by stronger considerations.
Right. Yeah. So, like in my view, ethical considerations can conflict with each other. You have to weigh different ethical considerations. So, and like there are reasons that people offer for immigration restriction, and then you can just look at those reasons and see whether they're good enough to outweigh the consideration of, you shouldn't harmfully coerce people. Now, it used to be that the main thing people said was, "Oh, immigrants are stealing American jobs."
Yeah,
So,
you hear that a lot.
yeah, but a bunch of Mexicans are coming over and like they're doing work, and then American workers are not able to do that work. Okay, so that's fairly lame. More recently, the more common thing is that people say, well, the immigrants are going to come here and they're going to vote for the wrong policies. And then they're going to change the American political system so that it becomes more like the political system of the country they came from. And then everything else will collapse.